Hello, hello. I can see Thea in the chat. Or Thea, are you the only one here? If you are, can you let me know if sound, light, blah blah blah, everything's okay? That would be lovely. I see pink on her hand. All's good. Glad to hear it. Lovely jubbly. This might be a cozy little stream this afternoon if it's just me and you. I'm not adverse to it at all personally. You know, why not? What are you up to today? Have you got a work in progress with you, Thea? Just trying to sort out the bitrate again. It's interesting. It's telling me that everything's okay, but at the same time, it's kind of going, eh. Lots of whips around as always. Yeah, I know you do a little bit of that. Are we colouring? I would imagine that we are colouring. Okay, our stream rate seems to be okay, so fingers crossed it stays that way. Last Wednesday was just an absolute nightmare. The weather here was just, for want of a better phrase, it was just like apocalyptic. It went from really calm, really dry, and like almost sunny, and then the wind picked up and the sky just got darker and darker and darker, and then we could hear like rumblings of thunder, and at that point I thought, oh, okay, right, maybe we need to like check the old internet connection here, because I noticed like even when I was just like on my mobile everything was really really slow. So I jumped on and did a few internet speed tests and tweaked a few things. My download speed was something like 0.02 kilobytes per second. And I was just like, oh no. I thought, dare I look at the upload speed? But the download speed kept jumping. Like it would go from normal, which for me is about like anywhere between 30 and 60. And then it was like dropping back down to like 0.02. And I was like, this is just not going to happen. So yeah, exactly. 0.02 without a word of a lie. So I just decided at that point it would probably be a good idea just to postpone it, because we weren't going to get anywhere fast with that. And the funny thing is, at the old cave, we still had like the old like telephone landline, like the ADSL, and it was terrible, and on average we got three with that, so like we weren't even getting that. It's just like, oh no. Oh, it's just like, well, like I feel as if I've like travelled back to the dark ages, but the weather was quite something. So yeah, that was last Wednesday. I used the time productively though. I did some housework. Look how exciting, glamorous. Oh, hi Nikki, good morning to you. How are things over with you? Is it very, very warm? We're just talking about the weather here last Wednesday, and what caused the catastrophic demise of the live stream last week. I'm assuming that it's warm with you. I'm hoping you don't have any snow at this time. But the weather, like, I just feel as if the weather has got, obviously with climate change, the weather has gotten more and more unpredictable. But the likes of today, like I am cold, and it is cold here in Scotland. We like our top temperature is like 14 degrees, and at night time we're back down into single figures. So it is not, that's not what we would expect, or what June or July is supposed to look like at this time of year, but it is actually cold. You hear people in the summer saying, oh, it's not very warm, but no, it's actually cold. And to the point where at night time we do have to put the central heating on, because it does get a bit nippy. We fought against it last night, got to about 9 o'clock last night, and Mr. Jem said to me, he's like, oh, it's really cold in here. I said, I know, but it's 9 o'clock, and by the time the place heats up, we'll be going to bed, so we'll just sit it out. So I've got like a big, massive fleecy blanket, and it's actually the size of my entire bed, which is a super king, so it's like 2 meters by 2 meters. And I basically like cocooned myself in that last night in the living room. I was like, not giving up, we'll not give in and put the heating on. Absolutely ridiculous for July. Nicky, crazy weather, colder in the 60s by the end of the week in the 90s. Yeah, so you're getting the same thing as us then. It's just going up and down like a yo-yo. Athea's got 36 degrees C. Oh no, like that's like my idea of torture. I was chatting to Julia the other day as well. When was that? It must have been the tail end of last week. And she's absolutely sweltering in Sweden as well. It's super, super warm. I would love to have like even a wee bit of that, because down in the south of England it's been really warm as well, and they've had like heat warnings and stuff. And here's us sitting up in Scotland next to Edinburgh at 14 degrees. Like, yeah, okay, thanks. Hi Pearl, nice to see you. So cold in Northern Ireland as well. Decided to put the heat on this morning. Yeah, yes. I'm glad it's not just me. It is proper cold, isn't it? Oh, well, there you go, Pearl. My parents still stay on the west coast of Scotland. That's where I'm from originally. And they were saying exactly the same thing, and they've just given in. So you're not alone. Jan, nice to see you. And April as well, oh, sneaking in at work. I don't know what you're talking about. Do not know what you're talking about. 27 degrees. Yeah, see, that's nice and warm. Like, I think when you get up over 30, certainly I just expire when it's over 30 degrees. I just can't do it. And we've got Susan. Hello, Susan. And we've got Ulrika as well. Hello to you too. Nice to see you all sloping in. I really wasn't sure how many, if any, people would turn up this afternoon, just because we postponed from last week. And the cave has been obviously quite quiet. I'm kind of a bit preoccupied just now. This coming weekend is my friend Glyn's memorial gig that we're having for him, for Tiny Changes, the charity that you guys donated to, for the cave birthday. So it's kind of been all go. I'm not involved in the organising per se, but I've just been trying to help out, and I'm also hosting the evening as well. So I've been doing my scripts and trying to kind of like coordinate things, and kind of try and help out Fraser, he's the gentleman that's really organised everything. That it's like his baby, and he's starting to get a wee bit stressed now, which I can understand. So I've been helping out with that. So I've been kind of focusing on that. And I was saying to another friend just earlier on today that after this weekend, I feel as if it's like closing a chapter a wee bit. So I will have more time and basically more brain space from Monday onwards. And I'll get back to doing a few more videos and a bit more a bit more arting and get some videos chucked up on the old channel, which will be nice. I do have a question for you, just while we've got a few of you in here at chat, if you would like to throw in your tuppence worth. I've kind of got a backlog of subscription boxes. I've got 2 scroller boxes and an up crate. Do you think I should just fling them together all in one video, or do you think I should do them and unbox them as a live stream and maybe try and like create some art with all 3 boxes together? I haven't really had any thoughts on it myself, honestly, but I'm open to input for that. Everyone seems to have quite a good time in the lives, but I don't know how many people would actually sit and watch back a live stream when it's unboxings. So if you have any thoughts on that, just drop it in the chat, that would be fine. Hello Christine, how are you doing? Are you good this morning? April says all 3 are live stream, less video editing. Well, that actually equals 0 video editing, so yeah, obviously I would be quite happy with that. That conversation came up as well about the gig. We're going to be recording some of the performance, and you know, we're going, a couple of folk are bringing cameras, etc. And when this conversation was going on in this group chat, because there's like 20 people performing, like people are switching in and out, so everyone's kind of throwing in their ideas, now bring a camera. And I was just sitting there watching this chat scroll down all these messages, and I'm like, please, please, please don't ask me to edit the video footage, because I really, really don't want to do it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm a terrible friend, but that's actually like my worst nightmare. It is really easy to line up music audio, obviously, with footage, because the audio part's going to come from the mixing desk, and it would just be the actual video. So in that sense, it would be pretty good, but I'm just like, no, like, just don't want to do it. Like, please don't make me do it. But thankfully, one of the boys has volunteered his services. I'm like, yes, thank you. Like, dodged a bullet there. Oh, you don't know? Okay, we like the live stream idea. Christine likes it too. I like very proud. Thanks, Christine. That's nice. Well, I'm pretty well rested now. I'm sleeping a lot better. And I've got a wee bit of colour about me now as well. Although it's really cold, it has been sunny. I feel like I look more like my normal, my natural colour, as opposed to being kind of washed out. So yeah, thanks. Thea likes the idea of a live. Okay, I will take that into consideration. So I'm basically just going to wait until Monday, till this weekend's over with, and then I'll have a wee think about videos, because I've got a couple of other ideas for videos that I want to do as well. But again, my usual, they're kind of like half-jacked ideas. I haven't thought them, like, the process through fully till the end. So I might have to spend a wee bit of time on thinking that through and actually planning a few bits out before I decide what I'm doing. Jan's busy next week, Yorkshire show. Yeah, no, there won't be a live stream next Wednesday. See, I'm not coming back until Monday night, and I'm straight back to work on Tuesday morning, like proper job. So there won't be a live stream on Wednesday. Doesn't mean I couldn't do one at the weekend or whatever. Yorkshire show, so good. I did at the weekend just there. I went to our local show. We missed that last year because we were literally moving in that weekend. So Mr. Jem and I thought we would take a wee toddle down to the local show, which has been on the go since something like 1850 something or other, and we had a really good time. It was really nice. We chatted to some people. Obviously, we don't know a huge amount of people in the farming community, but we're kind of getting there. So we bumped into a few folk. I petted a lot of dogs as well. Petted a couple of cows. Watched some horsey stuff. Had a really good burger. Mr. Jem was having an alcoholic beverage. I was driving. So I officially had the poshest lemonade that I've ever had at a showground in my life. It was in a plastic cup, and when we go to these things, everything comes in a plastic cup. But it had ice and a slice of lemon in it. I was very, very impressed, and a straw. So I felt as if I got my money's worth for a change. Yeah, a chance to meet folk. I got talking to a really nice artist lady as well. Her name, I can't remember her name. It's terrible. It's actually on her tea towel that I bought. But most of her artwork was mixed media, and it was the usual Highland cows and goats and things like that. But she had a couple of really nice, like, small paintings, like square, and they were mixed media and there were trees. So I had a really nice chat with her. Just we were talking about like different mediums and what we preferred, and I was asking her like about her art process and stuff. So that was actually really nice as well, because I don't really get to talk to people face to face about arty stuff very often. So I kind of hung out at our stand for a wee while and had a chat with her. Mr. Jem went for a pee and went and got himself a beer. So that was really nice as well. I think I'll show it was a Highland Cow tea towel that I bought. She does do stuff just in graphite pencil, and um, it's not scribble art, and it's not continuous line art she does. It's like somewhere in the middle of those two. And there was one that she'd done of a magpie, and it's just in graphite, and it was really cool. And that's what kind of drew my eye to her, like her stall in the first place. I was like, oh hello, I see pencil. So yeah, that was really refreshing, really nice. So I'll maybe go and find the tea towel when we go for a wee break in the middle of the proceedings, and I'll show you it. But she was lovely, yeah. Fancy lemonade, yeah, actual fancy lemonade. Jan always goes to the art gallery at the Yorkshire Show, so you can say hello to the artists. It's a small show, but great. Yeah. Well, that's it. That lady, she was kind of out on her own. Obviously, when you go to an agricultural show, especially a small one, it tends to be like there's all the usual suspects there. So you've got all your animal feed and grain merchants, and then you've got all your tractor stands, and they're the big impressive stands with like combine harvesters and all these shiny tractors and stuff. And you usually get a couple of like pet doggy type stands. Dogs Trust were there. And then you get your like wood chip guys and your like coal burning guys. And then there's usually sometimes they have like an arts and crafts section. And there was one there, but that lady for some reason wasn't in that tent, and I don't really know why. And then you've got your like produce tent, so you go in and people are selling like giant marrows and stuff like that, and they get judged on stuff like that too. So yeah, it's pretty varied, but that was a nice addition for me for sure. Hello Elise, how are you? Nice to see you. Right, we're just after 3, guys. Normal rules apply. Obviously, we're just here to relax, chill out. There's nothing crazy going on. We're going to get on with our Cluckmarine work in progress. I hope you all have your current projects with you. This is a safe space. If anybody does not feel safe, you can grab Green Hat, who has just popped in. Hi, Green Hat, how are you? Or Thea with the little blue spanners next to their name if there's anything going to miss in the chat. I don't think I'll miss anything today because it's quite quiet. And also, you all are a really well-behaved bunch too. My beverages of choice today, I have half a cup of tea, again for warmth purposes, because I just can't seem to get myself warm. And then after that, this is my second fluid flask of the day. And in here I have some sugar-free Vimto, and it is the mango and passion fruit variety. And it tastes like a non-alcoholic cocktail. It's lovely. So I'm going to get wired into that in a wee while. But I'll finish my tea first. Green Hat's day job's getting in the way of caving. For goodness sake, you're gonna have to sort that out, love. Are you like my cup? It says on the handle, dog person, and then there's like all the different breeds of various bits and pieces all around. I love this mug, but do you know why I love it most? Because it's got a wiggly rim. I've got a thing about stuff like that. This ring that I wear on this finger is not a straight band. It's actually got a slight bevel in it all the way around. And people are like, oh, you've got a wonky ring. But it just adds something to it, like, without being like ostentatious or flashy. And that's what drew me to this mug, is the fact that it's got a wiggly rim on it. The fact that dog's drawn on it as well obviously helped. Ulrika, I think you'd like when it's a Jack Daniels one. Yes. Jan's current project, trying not to accidentally put a comment for the cave in the chat for your boss. Yeah, that could get awkward. Everybody's job's getting in the way. I have to say I'm pretty busy at work as well, like proper work. Let's do this. Ooh. Right, truthfully, I'm going to level you guys. I've kind of lost the plot a wee bit with this. It's been so long since I've been in here, I kind of forgot what we were doing. I'm kind of happy with the submarine situation. Let me just zoom in a wee bit. Oh, that's better. Put the manual focus on so we don't go in and out. We did decide, correct me if I'm wrong here, we did decide that around the portholes we were going to use blue. Obviously that sits quite well in the grand scheme of things. And we were also, we penciled in some colours here, and I haven't kept these pencils out. Like these, oh goodness me, I'm dropping stuff already. I didn't keep out these colours for some reason, and I'm really puzzled by that because I literally haven't touched these pencils since the last live stream. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll figure it out. Oh, come back. Where did that go? Right, okay. Oh. Right, so I think I'll maybe start on these portholes. This is going to be difficult for me. I don't do well with like round things. Round things are hard, but we'll give it a little bash. I just want to have a quick look in my pencil case here to see if I put back. Right, see now the pencils are all back in their places because there's burnt ochre here, and this is the one that belongs in the. No, it's not. Where are my other? I've got pencils missing, guys. Really odd. Anyway, right, I'll worry about that later. Let's just get down to some. Like, I haven't even started doing anything yet. God, 7 minutes past. Right, okay, so going to start with these are all Polychromos pencils as we have been using. I'm going to start with the sky blue. I've got quite a nice pointy point on it. If any of you watched the Ink House series of videos, you'll know that I got my new Tagal sharpener, and it is sharpening. So I've got that on hand. So I'm just going to start by putting in a little bit of this blue and try and sort of gauge the thickness of these portholes. But I really want these to pop out, so we can build this up. You guys know that I like to sort of go slowly, build up gradually, because it's easier to add than take away when we're working in pencil. It's all good. Yeah, okay, off to a good start. Maybe we should have a cave edition of a JD mug. I'm pretty sure that there might be some licensing issues with that. And I'll need to speak to Terry's family. I don't think Terry's in the chat. It is really like a ridiculous time of day for her, right enough. But she has 2 relatives that work at the Jack Daniels distillery, and one of them's quite senior, so maybe we could have a chat about that. I have not used my Polychromos in that long. Literally the only arting I have done since the painting. I have not touched anything else. That's why I've got a backlog of subscription boxes as well. I'd say unfortunately my head's just like, it's kind of been elsewhere. Hi Mary. Well, nice to see you. Just the fact that you're here is very nice, so thank you. I appreciate it. Even if you're just sneaking in for a quick one. I don't know what happened here, but something went wonky. A couple of you will have some ads popping up. That seems really quick. Is it just me? I'm gonna I've got a special button now. Wait till you see this. Oh, I've just pressed the button to skip the ads. Oh, how'd you like that? That's a new thing. I don't know if it actually works or not, because I'm convinced that a lot of the time YouTube lie to us about stuff like that. Because they've been telling us for years that we're in control of where the adverts go in our videos, and I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Yeah. I wouldn't even say I'm super busy, Thea, honestly. It's more the mental capacity, because one of the things that we're finding is that we're all pretty organized. Everyone's pulling their weight and everyone's kind of like sticking together. It really is a team effort. And it's not that part of it, that's the problem. It's the fact that there's the emotional load of it as well. Obviously, the circumstance for us doing this. And I said to Fraser, the kind of main organizer, the other night, I said, look, as long as we've got the times running tight, and that's my job to make sure everybody's on time throughout the night, because we've got a music curfew, the music has to stop at 11 o'clock. And I said to him, as long as we stick with that and get that right, everything else is very much going to be a case of we're going to have to wait and see, because for a lot of us, we don't know how we're going to feel on the night. It could be very emotional, It might be just like a really good like hurrah kind of thing. And we don't really know how everyone's going to react until they get there. And, you know, if someone gets emotional, someone else has to be prepared to sort of step in and be like, it's okay, like, you know, I'll take over here kind of thing. So it is kind of that unknown aspect of it. And especially, you know, for example, Glenn's parents. So that's actually the hard bit just now. And it's trying to sort of navigate that and make sure everyone's as happy as possible. So I'm just trying to be supportive, but also manage my own, because you can't neglect yourself to, you know, it's like when you're in an aeroplane, if you have to put your masks on, you put your mask on first and then you help everyone else. Same sort of idea. But for the people that are standing up and speaking in between the sets, I've said to everybody, like, I'll be right there. So if something happens and you feel like you can't speak or you don't want to, I'm quite happy to step in or just even be by your side for moral support. And I think that's really, you know, we can't predict much more than that. So yeah, that's where we're at. But mentally, it is quite exhausting and it doesn't leave a lot of headspace for, you know, other stuff that's going on, especially when you're working and blah, blah, blah. Usual story. So yeah. Who else have we got? Hi, I'm Michelle. How are you? Good stuff. Nice to see you. Hello to Claire as well. Claire3980. Hello. Death Rose 9. Happy to have caught one of your streams. Hope you're doing well today. I am, thank you. And thanks for joining us. That's really nice. We're all good. We're all good in here. Emotionally busy, yeah, Thea, that's it exactly. Okay, I'm switching over to the Helio. I've got, no, wait a minute, that's the wrong pencil. I'm telling you lies. I am switching over to the Indanthrene Blue. It's kind of bright in the light. Can you see that there? For those of you that you prefer to read. So I do kind of want this to pop out a little bit. We talked a wee bit about the light source and the sort of bounce light, and we kind of decided, obviously you're going to have a light coming down the way, but it's kind of coming from this side too. Not overly bothered about it, honestly. The fact that this is curved on this side as well, I just want to pop some of this down because this is the sort of brighter blue opposed to the lighter blue. So I might have a wee bit at this top edge here maybe, whereby there's that sort of sky blue poking through. But this blue, you know, it's nice to have this sort of pop of colour that's standing out really nicely against what's going on here. So we'll just start building that up. I find this easiest, I don't know, tell me chat if anyone else feels like this, but if you're working on something like this and you've got multiples, when I'm figuring stuff out, I find it easiest to work on the biggest one first. And I think it's just because it gives you more room for maneuver. So you can, you know, get what you're doing down pat, and then you can obviously just replicate that with the smaller ones with less space. Is that just me? Am I weird, or is that a thing? Would love to hear your thoughts on that. Because I'm remembering as well, I've got the indigo, the dark indigo, one of my favourite pencils. So although this is quite a dark colour, it's still bright, and I'll use that to sort of deepen it down in the areas that I want. So I'll keep it a bit lighter around here. I'm trying to keep this even. I've kind of got that lazy mindset though, and it's terrible that you know, if it's not perfect, I can always tweak it in Photoshop. That's pretty bad for someone that hates Photoshop. Oh, Michelle's in hospital. Oh no. Ankle fusion surgery. Oh my word. That doesn't sound fun at all. Like, it really doesn't, Michelle. I really hope that you're okay and that you make a speedy recovery, because that's just not cricket, is it? Ugh. Do you want us to send you something special special for the pain? My jumper matches the Cluckmarine. It does actually, doesn't it? This is I don't know if there's anybody in the chat that's a long-standing participant here at the cave. This is actually a really old hoodie, and I used to wear it for videos all the time. It's actually one of my favourite hoodies, and I like it because it's got this offset collar. And when you put the hood up, it's like it's really cozy. I have not been able to wear this because I've been too big. It just didn't fit me. It was too tight. And recently, obviously, I've been able to get it back on. So I can more or less guarantee it's going to be surgically attached to me. So although yes, this is lovely and I'm matching, you're probably going to see me in this quite a lot now. Especially if this weather keeps up and it stays bloody freezing all the time. But yeah, this is I do get emotionally attached to garments. I don't know why that is. And this was something that I was previously fixated on and then got too chubby to fit into it. So I'm overjoyed to be back in it. I also managed to get into a pair of jeans that I had no anticipation. I found them by accident in amongst a pile of what I would call my very small clothes. So like see when I'm close to like a normal weight, I've got like a box of stuff for that. And they were in there, but they're actually a bigger size. And I kind of held them up and went, looked at the label. I was like, oh, I'll try these on. And I got those on too. So I was like, oh, I was a little happy. We call it a happy wardrobe dance when you're trying to lose weight and you can get into stuff that used to fit you. So I had a wee happy wardrobe dance to myself. But so happy to have this jumper back because it's super cozy as well. Ah, thanks, Jan. That's good. The other thing as well is I've managed to get my other wedding ring back on. Again, for a while there, I was only wearing one band, and I've got an eternity band and my actual wedding band, and I've got them both back on now as well. And I physically couldn't get the second one onto my finger. I still can't wear my engagement ring because my engagement ring's supposed to sit, like if I show you on this camera, my engagement ring's supposed to sit in the middle. And I can't get all three of them on because obviously my fingers are still quite big. But if I take one of these bands off, I can get my engagement ring on. So I'm up to two bands. Eventually, I will get back to all three, even though I don't, like, I never wear all three together. It's only if I'm going somewhere posher, I'll put my engagement ring on. But it's just really nice to be able to do that because there was actually a point where my original wedding band, which is the one with the die, they are still tight right enough. But anyway, yeah, enough of that. It's just nice. I feel as if I'm getting somewhere, so. Let's go over this side. I should really start over here, shouldn't I? Get a little bit of blue. Yeah, the blue looks pretty good, doesn't it? That was specifically why I wanted this colour, because I knew it would just do its thing, Michelle's had 3 lots of Oromorph today, as well as Cocoa de Bulb paracetamol. Ooh. Oh, Michelle, you're going for it. Are they not giving you any IV morphine? Are they only giving you Oromorph? That sucks. The IV stuff's great. Been there, done that. This porthole's ended up a really odd shape. I seem to remember that we'd matched these up quite well when we were at the when I was at the sketching stage, and it seems to have kind of like gone that way and that way, doesn't it? I don't know how well I'm going to be able to correct this because they're like the top line should really be about there. Okay, let's see what we can do. So I'd like to know if anyone is working on anything of note in terms of whatever your work in progress is. I would like to hear about that. As I said, I've really only got this just now in the painting on the easel. I was kind of thinking about starting another colouring page, but I'm sure some of you guys have got stuff on the go. If you have got it with you, please tell me about it because I kind of like the idea that while I'm sitting, doing this and whittering away, that you guys are working away as well. That's quite a nice thought. Hey Patty, nice to see you. April, does my briefing note count as something I'm working on? Yeah, we'll give you special dispensation. I say yes. Thea's working on a therapy sketchbook and it's getting a pretty front page. Yay! I like that a lot. There's something nice about filling in that first page of a sketchbook. I know I showed you this last time, but I still love my inside page of little mecha doggy and his pile of nuts and bolts poop. Like, that makes me really happy for some reason. Ulrika, I'm currently sketching a southern hawker dragonfly. I've been drawing the flora and fauna. Oh, I have no idea what a southern hawker dragonfly is, but I'm gonna look it up right now because I need to know. Let's see. Southern hawker dragonfly. Interesting. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, how are we? Oh, hawker. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, okay. They've got really interesting patterns on them. I like that. Good shout. Huh. That's a pretty dragonfly. I had to Google it too. We have these dragonflies that we found. Well, we found that we first saw when we moved here, and they're a really really like electric blue color, and I've never seen them before, but they're tiny. And I kept meaning to look them up, but because we just moved, I got kind of sidetracked and was like trying to do other things. But that's something I'm going to go back to because that's worth drawing. I don't really know. I'm going to have to tidy this up in Photoshop. Like I can't fix it. I feel as if I've made it look a little bit like flatter, but anyway, let's carry on. Get a little bit around here. My hand's not great today either. Mr. Jem noticed when we were out at the show on what there was Saturday, and we were just sat down, chilling out, whatever. And he said to me, he's like, "Your hand's shaking," and it was like quite badly, and I wasn't even aware of it. And he's like, "Is it okay?" And I'm like, "Well, I think so." But I've noticed that since then it's been quite like my range of movement hasn't been very good, and even though I always I've got exercises that I do before I start doing anything like this, and they're not really making a difference. But to be honest, I think it's because it's been quite damp and cold. My hands just kind of like reverted back to like winter settings. So I'll keep an eye on it. But again, it's not painful or anything because I've barely got any feeling at all down there. I only usually start to panic if if this part here, like my thumb and that first finger gets sore, or if I get pain that like travels up my arm to my elbow, which happens sometimes. Generally then I start to get concerned. So I don't really know what's going on. But I just thought that was a bit odd. I've got a really weird point on this. I'm gonna have to fix this. Let's go number 5. Go on. A banded demoiselle. Is that how you pronounce it? And we notice them if it helps to the identification. They were near a body of water. They were over by the pond. I haven't seen them in the garden or anything, so I don't know. I don't know if that makes a difference, but right. I'm trying to pay attention to these portholes are all completely different sizes. Nothing out of 10 for continuity, Jim. But who says the portholes have to be all the same size anyway? Rebellious. I think that's just a nice touch. I like that a lot. Right, I'm going to grab the dark indigo, and I'm going to get a really pointy point on this too. Let's go. Ulrika, yeah, that's it. Do you know what? I'd just like to say this is really nice this afternoon. It's telling me that I've got 23 concurrent viewers, and I'm kind of feeling the love today, guys. It's been a bit of a weird week, and I'm kind of like out on my own with this stuff. So it's really nice just to be like chilling out here and having you guys here. So thanks for coming and joining me. Like I genuinely, I really appreciate it today. Right, so let's get some shadow. Look at that for a point. I love having a new sharpener. It's my favourite. Because these portholes are obviously they're going to protrude slightly from the side of the submarine. In my eyes, they're not flush with the submarine. Make it less. I was about to say aerodynamic. That's in the air. streamlined in the water. But I think, thinking about a sort of clunky old fashioned, we were talking about the diving helmets like that. So I feel like the frames would like sit up. So I want to get a really nice sharp shadow there to show that they are indeed. I say my hand's not really cooperating right now, but we'll do our best. Oh goodness me, I've like the chat's just gone brrr. Right, let's back up a bit. Sandy, hi. Nice to see you. Different porthole sizes are a design feature, surely. Yes, absolutely, 100%, Jan. Conversations about Jane Austen. Hi, Angela. On the school run. Angela, I don't know where you are, but okay, yeah. Are you in England? Are you in another country? I'm sorry, I can't remember. I'm really bad for stuff like that. Like our kids are on holiday now, but the Scottish schools go on holiday way earlier than the English schools. But nice to have you here. You don't have to apologise for being late. It's like a drop in, drop out situation. Everybody's happy. Susan just enjoys the company and listening. Well, that's nice. I'm glad, Susan. I'm glad to have you too. Audiobooks. Hi, Martine. How are you? Managed to catch a live working in a sketchbook. Circus themed sketches. Oh, that's exciting. That's one of Julia's like favourite things to do as well. That's so cool. I love that kind of stuff because you can use some really bright colours just because, can't you? Yes, in Yorkshire. Okay, yes. You're a Yorkshire lass. Yeah. I remember having these conversations with you before, Angela. Yes, your kids are still at school just now. I take it you're counting down the days. Mary's doing some painting. Yeah, love it. What are you painting, Mary? I'm kind of like, thinking about kind of gearing up and doing a little bit more art in the coming weeks. Um, I've kind of got back at the start of the year. I went on a sort of like gouache adventure, and that feeling's starting to come back. So that might be something that I'm going to pick up once I kind of get going a bit more again. I have spent a substantial amount of time playing video games this last, I would say probably 3 weeks, and I'm just like I'm at the point where I get to a certain time at night and my brain just doesn't want to adult anymore. Basically, like I don't want to have to organize anything or process anything, and that's like my escape. So I've been playing Fallout 4, which is a really old game, but I took it up again after I got my Steam Deck, which is like a handheld gaming system for those that are not in the know. And then obviously the TV series came out. I've been playing Fallout games since, I don't know, a long time ago. So I've picked up another run of that and I'm having really good fun with it. But I feel like I need like a more creative outlet. I'm building settlements, like that's my creative outlet just now. So you're in an apocalyptic wasteland, and you come across certain areas, and you can build them into settlements with all the junk that you scavenge along the way. So unsurprisingly, in my latest settlement, I've just built a bar, and I'm sure that absolutely none of you, are shocked by that revelation. But I'm building houses and stuff, and uh, yeah, it's good. It's fun, but yeah, I feel like I need to do some painting. Thea's fixated on the end of the pencil. Yes, I'm missing paint on the end of this pencil. I have no idea why. I call it my special pencil. It is my indigo pencil. It's one of my replacement pencils that was bought open stock, and I'm assuming it's just been like a little misfire. It is the only one I have like that. I'm sorry if that's putting you off, but it makes it kind of special because it's one of my favourite pencils to use. Marigold Baldur's Gate 3 is my mistress at the moment. Oh, yes. Oh, Michelle, you're rattling. You've had so many meds. Automorph isn't even working. Oh. You see, if they give you the IV stuff, I say it's so much better. I meant to say to you, Mary, as well. I had a customer at work. I've got to be very careful what I say here for GDPR. I did have a customer, and the postal address is listed as Otley. So I was talking to a gentleman farmer who's in your area, and a very nice gentleman he was too. Elise says, "Congrats on losing weight. Noticed last live. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I'm trying to lose weight, so yeah, that I'm glad. It's interesting though, because people that haven't seen me for a couple of months have started to like mention it very cautiously, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. No, I'm trying to lose weight, so it's quite nice when people do say things because it's hard work. A long way to go, long way to go. But I feel like I'm getting somewhere now, so yeah, that's good. Thank you. See, I was just wondering if the light catching the end weird and making it look like it's clear. No, it actually is. That is the core, and it's obviously had its final clear coat on it, but they've just forgot to put paint on the end. I kind of like it. I've got a Derwent Inktense like that as well, which is kind of weird, but ooh. Elise is stuck on Breath of the Wild. You're stuck on Breath of the Wild. What, stuck as in you're obsessed with playing it, or stuck as in you are not progressing? Because if it's the latter, there's a couple of people here in the chat, and myself included, that can help you out with that if you want it. It looks a bit like there's a sapphire hiding in there. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I like it. Me and my special pencil. Try and round these out. I feel like today is not a day for details. Like, I don't think my hand's in a good place for this. But that's given us some nice contrast. The light is slightly yellow here as well. Yellow is obviously the theme today. I don't know. I'm actually thinking about changing. I've got like a diffuser. What's the word? It's like a studio light with a diffuser over it, but I'm thinking about changing the bulb. So what it does is it's actually pointed up the way, and the light bounces off the wall in the ceiling, which is white. But I put a warm bulb in it because I thought with the white it might end up like too blue, if that makes sense. But everything is looking pretty yellow, and the light that I've got face on here is also warm. I could change that maybe. I'm kind of having a think about stuff like that. I nearly knocked you all out there. I don't know if that makes any difference at all. Oh, goodness me, sorry. That's my bad. Very delicate setup here. I'm sorry. Ah. Yes and no. I'm fighting one of the divine creatures that are not easy. Do you like Harry Potter? I am not a Harry Potter fan. Your divine beasts. Let us know which one. Michelle wants the IV morphine, it would knock you out. Yep, sometimes that's the best way, isn't it? Patty straight in there, which divine beast. Patty is like the messiah of Breath of the Wild, by the way, Elise. Oh, Pearl wants the colour cubes to sit in your arm. They're so pretty. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've seen mine. You can just see them like peeking up on the shelf there. I love mine. I use them all the time. Like, I really do. Right, okay. I think I'm going to move up here, and I'm going to do this, the end of the periscope that's got his little birdie poking out of it. So get that colour down. Yeah. And go back to my Indian blue. Oh, Marigold bought the bullet and got them. Yeah, I know a lot of people actually, Mary, you're not the only person. A lot of people started off with the digital catalogue and then got the physical cubes when they came out. And you guys know me, like I'm a very tactile person. I like to have things in my hands, and it's one of the reasons that I prefer to do traditional art versus digital art. And I knew that I would have to have something that I could actually touch. And I have zero regrets. And I'm not really a person that endorses things unless like I'm really into them. Polychromos pencils are a prime example. You guys know I don't push products unless I'm like really into them. My sea white paintbrushes, I will wax lyrical about those all day. The colour cubes, I use them all the time, but I also get a lot of pleasure being a very visual and tactile creature. I get a lot of enjoyment of just actually looking through the boxes, and I find that looking at all the colour palettes and the photographs, I find that very motivating and very inspiring. And sometimes it sends you off in a wee tangent, so you end up not doing what you were originally looking for, which happens to me all the time, but something else might come out of it, even if it's not straight away. It might come out, maybe like 3 months down the line, and I love that about them. And if it's something that is within your budget, I would highly recommend getting the actual physical cards. I love having them, like I really, really do. They do look gorgeous, Pearl. Like, see, even when you're flicking through the box, you're like, woo. The other thing as well is like the actual build quality of the boxes and the cards, like the manufacturing quality is really, really high. And you're all aware that, more recently there's a lot of really cheap, if you go to like Temu or Wish or AliExpress, you get some really cheap stuff and you get what you pay for. I always appreciate something that's a really high quality product, and I can say that with 100% at conviction that they absolutely are. Patty's matched all the cards with all the pencils and all the markers you have in a journal, my boy. That is, can we have a round of other hands for Patty in the chat, please, for that? That is like an epic achievement. I would absolutely love, love, love to see a couple of pages of that just to see what it looks like. That's amazing. Bravo, Patty. Bravo. That's crazy. I'd love to do that. Right, I'm just going to grab my wee special indigo pencil here, and I'm just going to get a little bit of shadow in there. I want to make that quite dark because that's kind of like tucked in, isn't it? Like there's a wee beak poking out. So let's make that quite dark under there. Again, if it looks crap, I can always change it in Photoshop. That's going to be obviously the phrase of the day today. I'll change it in Photoshop. Yay, pink under hands for Patty. Right, I've just noticed something. Peryl's just said now you can get them in the UK. I've had mine for a long time, and mine came, well, not a long time. Thea, you'll probably remember better than me. I've had mine for ages, and mine came from the UK. They didn't come from Australia. Like, they have been around for a while here. Because I thought they were going to come from Australia, and mine arrived in like 3 days or maybe 4 days. But that was, yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think when I got them. Thea, help me out here. Come on. I'm sure it was like February or March, I think. I might be completely wrong. I might be talking absolute rubbish. Mary's saying that Sarah opened the UK Fulfilment Centre last year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I had them before Christmas because I wasn't in a headspace. I'm pretty sure it was like around my birthday, which is the beginning of March. Almost sure that's when I got mine. Yeah. We're other handsing because Green Hat, Patty, we were just talking about Sarah Renee Clark's colour cubes, and Patty has matched every single card to all of our markers and pencils, like like in a swatch book. Like she's done all of them. That's why we're pink under hands. And oh goodness me. Yeah, February or March. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, do it, Pearl. Not that we're enabling you at all, Pearl. Do it. Just do it. You won't regret it. Right, I'm going to move on here now. Now, we had the conversation about putting a sort of chicken face, panicked chicken face, in this little portal here. So I'm going to grab me a pencil. In fact, I think I better get I need to sort out my graphite pencils in my. I've got like a rotary desk tidy thing. And the graphite pencil section has turned into a riot because see when I'm using one I just kind of like chuck it in there. I need to sort it out. I've definitely got an F pencil in here, or I will take a propelling pencil. That's not what you guys call it, that's just what I call it. One of these ones, mechanical pencil, that's the one. That's my dad's fault. That's what he calls it. So I just refer back to my original sketches here. So I think we better have some big, massive, panicked eyes. Oh. And we'll maybe give him a little bit of an open mouth. The question is, everyone in chat, why is this chicken panicking? What does this chicken know that this chicken doesn't and this chicken doesn't? Or has he been kidnapped? That may be a thing. Let's give him like a floofy something or other. Fun. For these other portholes, again, I'm just going to get a real nice pointy point on my sky blue pencil here, and I'm just going to put a little like that, like a little glaze across it. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Patty's like, do it. Do it. Maybe there's a leak under his feet. Lorraine says he can see us watching them. Love it, love it, love it. That's funny. The panic chicken is having flashbacks to trying to cross the road. Goodness me. Right, okay. Yep, I love it. This is why I like asking you guys things, because you always come up with something good. So literally just you know, a little, excuse me. Excuse me. That came from nowhere. Oh, Patty, they came across some foul weather. Oh no. That's a terrible joke. That's like a dad joke. Goodness me. It's kind of funny though. Like, I don't know, honestly, that came from nowhere. Right, I suppose I'm gonna have to figure out what pencils I was using. I want to say sanguine. No. I don't know where my terracotta pencil is. It's disappeared. This is the puzzle that I was having earlier on when we first started. I don't know where my terracotta pencil was, and I was definitely using that. But the fact that it's not in the pencil case tells me I've sat it somewhere because I was using it, and I don't know where it is. I'm just going to have a wee explore over here. Just give me a wee second. I'm going to scoot over. It might just be hiding. Aha. Oh. Okay, mystery solved. I have the two other pencils that I was using up here, which was terracotta and burnt umber. And where I'd stacked this, because like when I have a work in progress, I have an area where I leave those things so they can sit untouched and I don't have to like move them about. But it's right beside the marker tower I've got. These two had rolled under the marker tower, so that's me happy now. That's good. Like, can chill out. Got a big yellow smudge there. I don't know how that happened either. Obviously, you're going to get a little bit of that, but a bit out of hand. Okay, happy. So let's lighten this little dude up a bit. Get a nice pointy point on my razor here. And get into this space a little bit more. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe the submarine is full of eggs that are about to hatch. Hello, Michelle. Michelle with one L. From Colorado. I have a question. What's the weather like in Colorado just now? We're having a discussion about the ridiculous Scottish weather. And as I say that, the sun has come out. It's really cold here though. It's way below average for July. We are still missing a pointy point sticker. There's a lot of sticker thoughts going on, and it's something I just not. I really actually need to write a list, don't I, of all the stuff. Right, okay, so let's just head back to this for a wee second. Concentrate, Gem. Too much going on. Let's get some sharpening on the go. I love these sharpeners. Love these sharpeners. I think I'm okay on the burnt umber front. It's still pretty pointy. I don't think I want too much here. I'm going to put a little bit of the sky blue over the top. I don't want this colour to be like super vibrant, but obviously it needs to be visible. So let's just build up a couple of little layers. Put them in the middle a bit. Want to zoom in a wee bit further there? Super zoom. Whoa. Let me just move. This tea's stone cold. I forgot to put the magnifocus focus back on, sorry guys. With the lens that I've got on the camera, when you are working really close up, it kind of like biffs out the autofocus, and the autofocus just doesn't know what to do. So it's always a good idea to stick on good old manual focus for a little bit. Okay, I think that might be enough in the way of saturation. I need to decide what I'm going to do with these eyeballs on his beak. I think we need to pick beak colours anyway, so my natural, like I'm drawn towards like a bright orange again, like again like a bright colour. So where is my swatch book? I thought I'm not very well organised today, am I? Let's scoot back over again. Try not to run over Jock's paws. Don't think he would appreciate that much. Oh. Let's just come back in here. Yum. What is the average for Scotland in July? How long is a piece of string? Depending on whether we're having a good summer or a crap summer. But I would say probably averaged what we would hope for. We would like to be between sort of 18 and like 26, and we're at 14 just now, so yeah. On a really hot summer, I mean, like last summer was a bit of a washout. The summer before it was 40, and 40 is that. I mean, that's really hot for us. Let's just grab the polychromos. So I think the obvious option here is clearly the cadmium orange and the orange glaze. That's going to stand out. Now I want vibrant colours for a reason, because if you all know your colour theory, the complementary colour for blue is orange, and obviously we've picked quite a vibrant blue, so it makes sense to pick a vibrant orange. And that's my reasoning, and I'm sticking to it. If it looks terrible, you get to shout at me. No, dark cadmium. Where? Cadmium orange. Oh, orange glaze. We're pretty well sharpened as well there for these. Let me just do a bit of manoeuvring. I've got loads of stuff sitting about today, and again, very uncharacteristic for me. I'm normally a very organised person and I like things to have places, but I've just kind of gone into chaos mode. So it's just like I'm just in like survival mode for another week or so. Oh, that didn't. Oh no, I've got a broken lead. Oh no. Oh, try again. Let's go. getting on very well. Thea's asking how Jock and Pip are doing. Jock is his usual self. He's old. Need to empty this out. He's a bit stiff. He is very itchy. He's on his like full dose of itchy skin medication. I can't get this off. There we go. Oh. So we're just trying to keep his itchiness to a minimum. But apart from that, he's his usual wee happy self. He's sleeping a lot now. He's just getting old. But he's quite the thing. He went for a little ride out with Mr. Jem today in the Gator, which is like the little four-wheeled buggy. It's like a covered over quad bike or like a little go-kart. So he went out with Mr. Jem today. He was quite happy. And Pip is her usual noisy, energetic, annoying self. She is currently lying in the living room on the rug that sits at the French doors to the outside. The doors were open. I've had to close them because it's so bloody cold. But she's sitting peeking out because right now the squirrels are... They've got like a little rat run from the grain shed back to where they live. So the grain shed, the window's there. The grain shed is over there, and where they live in the trees is on this side of the cave. So they go back and forth across the garden, and they stop at one of the bird feeders, which has got fat balls in it. We've got one squirrel that hangs upside down and spreads himself out like a rug, like hanging on, so that he can have a little nibble in there. So Pip is watching this and she just sits there and she, it's like she's watching a tennis match and she's going back and forth. So yeah, she's quite happy as well. She's doing good. She's starting to get a little bit white round her face. I think it's just her colouring more than anything, because she does have white round one side of her mouth, but it's like starting to spread a little bit. But she is going to be 6 this year. Like, she's not a baby anymore. So kind of expected. But yeah, they're both being very well behaved. They're being good, the goodest doggos. That's all we can ask for. God, I'm having a job with this pencil, jeez. Lorraine's visiting Glasgow at the end of July. That's where I'm going next weekend. I will be staying in Glasgow next weekend. I haven't been in Glasgow for... well, not for any length of time, for such a long time. So I'm going to, on Friday afternoon, I'm going to have a wee wander about. I love Glasgow. Like, I prefer Glasgow to Edinburgh because Glasgow's, well, that's like the closest city to where I grew up. And it's just such a friendly place. I like it a lot. I find Edinburgh to be very touristy. I don't like it quite so much. It's still nice. I mean, Edinburgh's lovely. There's loads of lovely architecture. There's loads of culture. But it's just really, really overpriced. Like, it's ridiculously overpriced. So no, it's still definitely a Glasgow girl at heart when it comes to cities. Right, let's get this orange down. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. That's good. Nice and bright just because we can. There's no logic to this. I just want a nice bright orange. That is it. Pip's watching dog TV. Our old collie Mist. We used to have like training. Well, it was DVDs at the time. That's how long ago it was. We used to have training videos for like doing stuff with your sheepdogs, and if we put that on the TV to watch it, Mist would literally sit with her face that like this much off the screen, and she would eyeball all of those collies. And if they disappeared with the sheep off the screen, she was like going round the back of the TV, like trying to figure out where they'd gone. And you could sit her there with that. It was the only time she stayed still, was to sit, and she was like fixated on it. But she didn't bother about any other like dogs on the television. Whereas if we're watching something and dogs start barking or whimpering, Pip will sit up from wherever it is she is, and she's like, oh, what's going on? And then she comes up and sits beside you like, I don't understand what's going on. I can hear them. Where are they? And you're like, it's okay, it's fine. Quite interesting how some dogs react differently to others. Right, for our fluffy chicken body here of our panicked chicken, I just want to put a little bit of colour down so that it takes away the white of the paper. So I'm going to start off with this really pale yellowish cream colour. I think this one's just cream. That's a good pointy point. So we'll start with that. We'll get that down. And I want to add in some of the burnt umber. I'll add a little bit into his comb as well. And the terracotta, that was the one. So even if we just have, you know, that sort of indication that there's a body there, it doesn't need to be much, to be fair. I'm going to take a really light grey colour as well. Probably one, it doesn't matter whether it's the warm or the cold grey, but just the lightest grey. This one's to hand. Alright, warm grey 3. That'll do. And I'm just going to pop that around the outline of his eyeballs, just so that we can see them. No other reason. There we go. That's so good. So good, so good. Love Glasgow. Yeah. People do like Glasgow's fun. Mary says that Glasgow's more down to earth. Yes, it is, but you love Edinburgh as well. You're an eco-cities lover. I am definitely not. Edinburgh is now the closest city to me, so it's kind of there by default. But it gets kind of tiring that, like, see if I go and meet friends for lunch or people that I'm going to see, I'm meeting them in Edinburgh. I can get a train to Edinburgh from here without too much hassle. But if you go out for lunch, you have to mentally double what you would normally pay in the vicinity, which is quite expensive to start with because we're not that far out from Edinburgh. You have to double that and just accept that you're paying through the nose for lunch. And to be fair, my last 2 experiences in the middle of Edinburgh, the food hasn't been great. So I'm a bit of a stickler for that, though. I am a qualified chef in a previous life. I wouldn't say I'm particularly picky, but if I'm paying a lot, I don't mind paying a lot for food, but I expect it to be good if I'm going to pay through the nose for it. Lorraine's daughter loves Glasgow. She goes there at least once a month, so she's going to show me around her Glasgow. Oh, yeah. It's so good. Edinburgh's hellish expensive. Well, let me just give you a wee example of that. I'm just before I start talking about that again. Back to the sky blue, and I'm just gonna. I don't know why the sound effect's important there, but it is. Around my birthday, which to be fair, I wasn't really that bothered about celebrating this year. Just really wasn't in the mindset for it. Mr. Jem took me out for a meal to our favourite local restaurant, which is within driving distance, but at quite a cheap taxi ride away. And we decided we were going to do that. And we had 3 courses each, which wasn't really planned on at all. And we had at least 5 or 6 drinks each, maybe more than that. Can't really remember. And not only that, at the end of the evening, the restaurant manager, who is absolutely lovely, he's a really, really nice guy, he's really down to earth, but he makes his own limoncello, and it's an Italian restaurant. The owners are Italian also, and he brought us some shots of that at the end because he does it when it's a special occasion. So I went home and didn't know, the expression we use is I didn't know my arse from my elbow by the time I got home, but in a good way. And the total bill for the evening was, I think it was 120 something pounds, so about 150 euros, like maybe $170 US, something like that. And we were absolutely stuffed. Like, the portions are massive, tons of pasta, obviously lots of alcohol to drink, and we had such a good night. Obviously we had to pay for a taxi home. A couple of days later, I went into Edinburgh to the city centre to meet an old friend, And we went to this restaurant which is quite, I mean, it's one of these kind of like upmarket trendy places, but most of the places in the middle of Edinburgh are. We had one course each. My friend had three cocktails and I had 1 pint of beer, and the bill was the same price that we'd paid at the restaurant for James and I, like a couple of nights before. So, you know, that tells you all you need to know. And again, the thing that I've got this thing though, and I should just stop doing it. When we when we go somewhere new, the way I always tell if the food's good or not is I always order a dish that's got seafood in it. Because it's something that it's not difficult to get right, but you have a very sort of specific window, especially with things like scallops or king prawns. And when I went to that trendy restaurant with my friend, I ordered, it was like a seafood risotto. And I swear blind, you could have bounced those prawns off the walls. They were so overdone. And instantly in my head, because my friend said to me, like, do you want to send them back? And I'm like, I don't do that. I don't do sending back. This place have been established long enough, and they're charging these exorbitant prices. I just simply won't go back. And when I asked her about her food, she said, yeah, it was good, but it wasn't anything to kind of like write home about. And the service was sluggish as well. So I'm just like, I vote with my feet on stuff like that, not going back. It's a completely different situation if you're in a new place. It's good to give feedback. And again, I would never demand like money off my bill or anything, but I would say, look, this is overcooked or X, Y, or Z, just to let you know so that you're not serving that to someone else and the chef thinks it's okay. But that's just one of the reasons that I prefer Glasgow to Edinburgh, because I don't get ripped off for food. Ah. Yeah, it is honestly, it's crazy. To be fair, the local restaurant that we go to, it is very reasonably priced, even for the area. But you have to like book in advance to get a table because it is really popular. But there's a reason for that, and the staff are just so lovely. But it's a place where you can go, you can get dressed up. Like if you're going out for a special occasion, you could get dressed up and you wouldn't feel out of place. But if you wanted to go in jeans and shirts, which is what Mr. Jem and I do all the time, you could do that too, and nobody would bat an eyelid, kind of thing. The couple that own the place are lovely as well. It's just a really nice experience. 10 out of 10 would recommend, and that's why we keep going back there. It also, it's a place where I've been surprised as well. Obviously, my knowledge of Italian cuisine is fairly extensive for obvious reasons, and I actually learned that I liked something in a new combination and something I'd never had before. And that doesn't happen very often with Italian dishes with me. Um, there was a dish and it's tagliatelle with it had perno in it. For those of you, well, I think we're all kind of around a similar age bracket here. Perno is a really old-fashioned drink, but is really, really, really strong. And I'm thinking to myself, putting that in food sounds like my worst nightmare because I would never drink Perno. And it was in one of the sauces, and it was absolutely amazing because I was kind of swithering whether to order it or not. And Charlie, the restaurant manager, was like, you will not regret your decision. Honestly, just do it. So I did, and I was so glad I was. And stuff like that really excites me. Like I really like that. So yeah, take me to my local Italian any day of the week. I don't want to go to Edinburgh. The other thing that I hate about Edinburgh as well is the overpriced tourist kilts. I don't know if any of you have come across this before, but the all the places that are like near one of the main train stations at Edinburgh Waverley, there's all these, like sort of Scottish souvenir shops, and they sell these horrible cheap kilts, but they're really overpriced for what they are. And it just infuriates me because they're just fleecing tourists. Like, I hate it. I really, really, really don't like that about Edinburgh. Yeah, not fun. The Witchery is worth every single penny. I haven't been there yet, Mary. That's actually on my list. Um, and Mary also orders seafood to see how they do. Yep. London prices are silly, but the thing is, though, it's expected of London. And someone actually said to me the other day who works in Edinburgh and London, like they jump between the two, and they're saying that there's not that much difference between London and Edinburgh now. And I think that's part of the reason why it annoys me. Yeah, the Thea's also, she's in a capital city, she's in Vienna. Vienna can be so great for food with incredibly reasonable prices, and then you have the places where you pay just for walking inside. Yeah. Hello, Marilise, how are you? You just like tiptoe in there and sit yourself down in a corner. Nice to see you. Yeah, Pernod's something all on its own, isn't it? There was a lady who that's a fucking long and involved story. Not going into too many details. There was a long time ago, my boyfriend, before I met Mr. Jem, ran a pub, and one of the patrons that drank in the pub was friends with my mum and dad. Although he was like a bit younger than my mum and dad, and he used to come into this pub that my boyfriend at the time ran with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend drank Pernod and lemonade, and it was proper like old fashioned British pub. So it had the original bar, which was for the men, and then you went in a separate door and there was a lounge through the back, and that was traditionally where the ladies drank. Obviously, they don't have that segregation now, but the actual bar is quite a small area compared to the lounge, but that's where we always sat and that's where we always drank. So I used to go and pick my boyfriend up and stay until closing time and take him home. And if my mum and dad's friend was in with his girlfriend, you literally just had to turn your nose slightly and sniff, and you knew exactly where she was in that bar at any point in the night because you just followed the trail of Pernod. That's how strong it is. Like it's overpowering and it's a really sickly smell. And then when music started, like, see if she's talking to you, obviously she's in your ear, and you had to turn your head away slightly because she was just like breathing Pernod fumes on you. Oh, like, oh, I just can't with it. But seeing food is great. Right, anyway, I love how I go off in these wee tangents. So, like, Pernod of all things. I'm going to build up this cream colour now on our main chickadee here. We do that. Okay, a little bit going here. I don't know what I want to add in terms of other colour pencils here. I haven't really given that much thought, honestly. Just looking at the time there, 4:10. We're doing quite well. I do not have time to stay over today. I was kind of thinking that I might be able to like run on for half an hour or so, but as you can imagine, I've got a lot to organise, and I've only got today and tomorrow, and I'm working like my normal job tomorrow, and then I leave on Friday. So I'm kind of running out of time to get stuff organised, so I'm going to have to take myself off and deal with that. I was kind of hoping we would get this finished today. I need to stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. We would get it done. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? Oh, Marigold's talking about Betty's. Don't even get me started on Betty's. Oh. Angela says, my husband used to drink it years ago with blackcurrant. Are you talking about Pernod? Your husband drank Pernod and blackcurrant. Was that even a thing? Like, really? Oh, Pernod and black for me. Got so horrendously drunk on it that I've never been able to touch it again. But that's the thing though, and I don't want to expose anybody, but even when I was younger than I am now, Pernod was still quite an old-fashioned drink. There was nobody my age that would drink it. It was always the people that were slightly older than me. So that's really interesting because I've never heard of anyone drinking Pernod and blackcurrant. That's revolting. Oh God. But interesting, Mary. My mum and dad's friend and his girlfriend would probably be about ages with you, so that tracks, doesn't it? Hi, Raspberry Kitty. Oh, it was a thing. You. He's 60 now and no longer drinks it. Okay. Oh, Oh, that's funny. It's amazing how things change, though. I remember, like, mum and dad, like Mama and Papa Jem, telling me the story, and it wasn't that long ago. I've always known my dad to be not teetotal, but my dad does not drink. Like, he's not a drinker, which is really unusual for someone of his genetic makeup and his background. I mean, he had like the occasional glass of wine, and like one glass of wine sends him squiffy, and that's it. And mum and dad told me the story. This was probably only about 10 years ago. That when my dad was young, when my mum and dad first got together, my dad used to drink straight Bacardi with ice in it. Like, that's what he drank. It's like, for someone that doesn't drink, how did you go from essentially what is paint stripper to not drinking at all? Like, how does that happen? And then I was like, well, maybe drinking that like actually sickened him, and that's why he doesn't drink alcohol anymore. But I was like, of all the things, why would anyone want to drink straight Bacardi? That's revolting. It's like, oh, Papa Jem's a dark horse, I tell you. There's a compliment if ever you've heard one. Thea says, I would never guess that, Miri. You have such a young vibe. What a nice thing to say. Not that you're old. Oh, you guys are something else. Oh, Thea's never been drunk. I don't know. See you young ones. I'm just joking, Thea. Have you ever had sambuca? Yes, that was more of a staple of my party days as a younger person than I am now. One thing, like I still enjoy drinking. I don't drink nearly as much as I used to, obviously, because I would like to keep my liver and my kidneys intact. But one thing that I just flat out refuse now is, see, when people start doing shots, I just don't take them. Simply because I don't want the hangover in the morning, because my hangovers have got worse as I've got older. Bacardi is like ripping your throat out. Yep. Jackie, hi Jackie. Jackie likes rum, but straight Bacardi would be a challenge. Yeah, yeah, I feel that way too. We're all young. That's really interesting. I'm going to put up a wee poll. This is purely for my own nosiness, so don't feel like you have to participate if you don't want to. Uh, let's start a poll. Have you ever been drunk? Very interested in this. Mary's mum drank Bacardi and Coke. Yeah, see, that's a bit more normal, not straight Bacardi. Good grief. Like, that's just not normal. Okay, right. So this is kind of going the way. Can I answer as the Pope a Catholic? Jan, I swear blind, you could be like an honorary Scottish person at this rate. I'm just going to go down to this bottom part here. And I'm going to try and kind of match this up with what I was doing up there. Get a wee bit of that orange in there just for funsies. Just in at the top. 82% of you. Now, given that there's 23 people in the chat right now. Marigold mind, the last time I was drunk was probably about 30 years ago. That's really interesting. I find that obviously, I mean, the drinking culture in the UK, someone said it really well. Like as a united nation of Wales, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland. I might also include the south of Ireland just for statistical purposes. But we have a big drinking culture, and someone described us as an absolute car crash by night in terms of drinking, but classy during the day. That's how they described like the British Isles, and I feel that that's really accurate. But we do have a huge drinking culture. But I find the younger generation, so like the Gen Zs now, even in Scotland where everyone still drinks regularly, they're not that interested and it's not a part of their lifestyle compared to me being a millennial, and compared to Gen X as well. And I just find that quite interesting that things are changing, but we do still have a really big drinking culture. So I find it like if I had put this poll out to Scottish people of my age, that would be 100%, like without a shadow of a doubt. So I just find that really interesting. Thanks for participating. The talk of rum promoted Jackie to speak up. No one in the UK can ever answer no. That's funny. Hey, Black Rose, how you doing? We're talking about getting drunk. Patty hasn't had hard liquor since she was in her 20s. Marigold's agreeing with what I was saying there. James is Mary's son. Is 16, not even interested in trying alcohol out at home either. See, I find that really interesting. But the other thing as well is like I don't know. Obviously, I can only speak for what happened round about me. But at home, I was drinking wine at home with my parents when I was young. It was watered down, but wine was something that you had with a meal, and my parents were okay with me drinking as long as they knew where I was, aka in the house. Um, it didn't stop me from going out and doing ridiculous things as a teenager because I was always going to be that teenager anyway because I'm that person. Um, but it didn't it didn't like normalize or make me any more sensible with drinking. I mean, I had a couple of times where where I kind of came a cropper. But that again, at the time though, when I was at that age, we had the sort of Britpop ladette culture. So the likes of like Zoe Ball was really cool because she was a pretty skinny woman that went out and drank pints with all the boys. Like, that's what we kind of not aspired to be, but that was very much the culture, and it was normal for women to go out and drink pints, which I did, and which I still do. I just don't drink as many as I used to. And I find it really interesting that having that crossover with like sort of the Italian lineage thing, it makes for quite a wild concoction, honestly. And some other countries have never had that. And, you know, it, I just find it interesting. There's been such a shift now, and the younger ones are like, yeah, you're just wrecking your body, like it's poison, it's not good for you. And I don't think it's a bad state of affairs at all. But when you do go out with people of a younger age, it is hilarious. We've had a couple of young farm labourers, and you maybe take them out for like a celebratory drink after harvest, or maybe like a Christmas night out or something. And honestly, for someone that doesn't drink as much as I used to, Mr. Jem and I are the same age, and Mr. Jem hardly drinks at all now, like very occasionally, but when he does go out, he does like to have an alcoholic drink. And like we're outpacing these kids like 4 drinks to 1, and we're not trying. Like that's us being sensible. And I think that's quite telling as well. But it's not that that's funny. That's actually quite alarming. But it's the fact that the younger ones think that they can outdrink you, and you're like, look, this isn't a competition. What you're saying is a silly idea. You're going to end up really ill. Drink at your own pace, and they're like, oh, I can drink way more than you. You're like, yeah, yeah, okay, whatever. Pat them on the head, kind of thing. That's what gets me, and it's like you can't, like it's like a muscle. You've got to exercise your drinking muscle if you want to be good at it. And the young ones just they're like, no, I'd rather go to the gym. I'm like, okay, go to the gym. That's like the main sign, and it just makes me realize I'm getting old. Like I'm not a young person anymore. There's just no chance of that. But such is life. Wouldn't change it, but definitely wouldn't want to drink alcohol now like I used to. Dear Lord, that like honestly, that would probably end me. There's no way I could drink now like I used to. Like absolutely no chance. And I think back on it, and I'm like, wow, my liver did a really good job. 83%, yeah, that's a very interesting figure. Thank you for your participation, people. Ulrika was in the pub at 16. Only person not ID'd. Mary drank pints in the late 80s. Bottle of Pils or Becks. Jackie, true story. Gained status in my old job for unconsciously out drinking the youngsters. That is true though, isn't it? It's so true. That's funny. Oh, Mary, you're just cracking me up now. When you started drinking at 15, Malibu and Coke or Cinzano and lemonade. That's another awful combination. Oh, that's just made my day. That's hilarious. Oh, you guys are the best, honestly. Oh, Cinzano and lemonade. Another drink. That's in beside the Pernod and blackcurrant, clearly. No, when we were teenagers, it was what was fashionable then? Uh, Smirnoff Ice was quite new. Like the Alco Pops, they were a thing. So it was Smirnoff Ice, Bacardi Breezers, especially the watermelon ones, they were good. And bottles of WKD, because there was an Iron Brew one, which obviously appealed to us, and there was a blue one. So they were really popular, and it was just the usual like cheap cider. But everyone used to laugh at me because I used to take a bottle of wine with me because I was used to drinking wine with my parents. So when we were drinking underage, it was that I always had wine, and it's really funny now because I can't drink wine at all. It gives me a really sore head. But like, there you go. That's really funny. I told you I was old. Jan's most important question for the archaeological dig for later on this year is when does the pub open in the village? Ah, that would be a concern of mine. I just need to take away some more pencil lines here. Don't want to take it away too much. So I'm going to fill in this whole fishbowl with the sky blue pencil around the chicken because I feel as if it needs to be a bit, and the saturation I can always tweak in Photoshop because it'll come out differently when I print it. Like there's always a slight variation, but I feel that this would look better with a full bit of colour, even if it is only very lightly. Again, back to this, to separate it from the outside, because again, if we're having stickers, I've always got like a little bit of a border, so I want that to be like a nice clean line round there that we can see. So we might as well start on the actual drawing here. So although I've got a point, you can see I've got my overhand grip on here, and it's just so that I can get a bit of a smoother colour. We'll get that on all the way around. So I'm not quite sure about this beak. I know I've gone really orange down here. That doesn't necessarily mean I want to do it up here. Not entirely sure about that. I'm just looking at the time. I'm going to finish this off here, and then I'm going to take a really quick break. And I'm going to go and find that tea towel that I bought at the show, just so I can show you who the artist was, because she does have a website, and you can go and check out her stuff that I was talking about as well. Let me just get this done real quick. I'll go and investigate what the weather's doing as well. Jan, we didn't have pretend drinks when I was young, just beers and spirits. Angela used to like Reef. I remember Reef as well. I don't think I had much of that, to be fair. Marilise in her 20s for some reason enjoyed the taste of Sambuca. Ugh. Sambuca with lemonade? Oh no, oh no. Good grief. Mary used to drink bitter, had an issue with your liver and your 7, you can't drink it anymore. Too hoppy, unfortunately. Oh, I quite like a hoppy drink. Folkestone's Old Peculiar was your drink of choice. Yeah, like we can still get that. Well, in bottles we can get it. Jan's just had an email that someone left a brolly in the kitchen and they need it. So yeah, it's chucking it down at work. Good. Susan, the night I drank pints of cider rather than half pints, thinking I could drink the same number of drinks. Oh, schoolgirl error. I can say hand on heart, honestly, I've never had a half pint of anything in my life. Um, I just get a pint and drink it slower. Okay, right, there we go. I don't know if that's enough or not, but it was like alcoholic orange pop, Angela. You're absolutely right. At uni, we used to drink Guinness. Are you kidding me? Guinness with orange? Oh, oh no. Oh, Jan. I have to. Guinness is one of these things I've tried on more than one occasion. And when Mr. Jim and I, the odd time that we go and visit his parents who stay in the south of Ireland, they always said to me, like, if you're not really that fond of Guinness, you need to try a proper pint in, like in the south. It tastes completely different. And I've tried that as well, and I just can't with it. Like, honestly, ugh, no thank you. It tastes like a combination of coffee beans and burnt toast that's alcoholic. Like, it's horrible, and I mean, I really like ales and IPAs and lagers and all the rest, and I just can't with it. Like, I really, really can't. That's just not a thing for me. Someone was saying to me the other day though, for people that do like Guinness, apparently the 0% alcohol Guinness is really really good. That they've done a really good job with it, which I can't imagine trying to replicate that. Honestly, I don't know why anyone would want to replicate it, especially if it doesn't have any alcohol in it. But apparently the no alcohol version is very very good. So for those of you that maybe are partial to a Guinness, maybe you have to drive or you just don't want any alcohol. Apparently, it's really great. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll pass. Thanks. Again, the Scottish phrase that we would use is "No, you're all right," and that means no thanks. I'm good, but in a slightly sarcastic way. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. I think. Let me not throw my pencils about. Come on, Jim. Let me just zoom out a wee bit here. Yeah, I think that's enough to give us what we need. I might just try and accentuate that the reflection area a wee bit. I can blend that out a wee bit. And I could maybe have, because we want to still show that it's bulbous. There's a good word for this time of day. I can maybe just pop that in a little bit. Yeah. We need to do some work on our main plot. Right, refresh my memory here, Cavers. That we talked. I remember talking about this, but I don't remember what the outcome was. The sort of the collar that's on the fishbowl. Did we decide we were doing that blue? Oh, Minnie's had the 0% one. The Guinness with coffee in is nice. Oh no, that's like two of my least favourite things in the entire world. Ugh. Oh, Mary, we did say blue. Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay. Just checking. Wanted to make sure I wasn't dreaming that one. I haven't even. Okay, stone cold tea now. You don't think the NHS would recommend it? Oh, is this said drinking Guinness when you're pregnant for iron levels? But that's the thing. There's something that's changed quite dramatically because it used to be that the doctors were kind of on the fence about drinking any alcohol if you were carrying a child, and and there were some doctors who would recommend Guinness. My mum also had Guinness when she was pregnant with me because she was anemic, and that was just what you did. We were also talking as well, Mr. Jem and I were talking earlier about how it used to be that if you couldn't get your baby to sleep or if they were teething, you would rub whiskey in their gums. Like, nobody in their right mind would do that now. It's amazing. Again, just makes me feel really old. Angela, it didn't help me at all, but I only had one on a Sunday night. I couldn't cope with it, honestly. See if someone's like, you've got to drink Guinness for your health, I'd be like, no, I'd rather be ailing. Well, the other thing that used to happen as well, again, I don't know how many of you experienced this, but if you couldn't get your baby to sleep, it didn't matter whether they were sick or completely healthy. But if the baby would not go to sleep, you just give them Calpol, which is like kids' medicine for those of you outside the UK, because it would make them drowsy. Definitely not allowed to do that anymore. Oh, yeah, I'd have preferred gin to whiskey. If I'd had a choice at the time, Jan, that would have been my route. You can't be drunk and pregnant, can you? I wouldn't advise that. Right, guys, I'm going to take a really short break. I would like to relieve myself and go and find my tea towel. I will be back in just a little moment. We can continue on our ridiculous conversations, and we'll go ahead with the caller on our Cluckmarine. So continue on with the alcohol chat, why not? And I'll see you in just a little minute. Y'all are mental. Okay, I'm back. So I've been and got my tea towel. So it's my Highland cow tea towel, 100% natural cotton. So the lady's name is Hayley Mills. This is her here. This was the lady I was talking to at the local show. That was very nice. But I just want to take this out and show you. Obviously she had one like flapping about flapping about at her stall. But I just wanted to show you. So the original drawing was like a monochrome. It was in graphite and charcoal. But let me just take this out here. Jan says once the stream is finished, you're going to put on the waterproofs and go for a walk. For those of you in Discord, wish me luck. And yes, I was stone cold sober when you tripped on Saturday. I've not been on the Discord for ages, guys. I'm aware of this. I'm sorry. For the rest of you that aren't on the Discord, we have kind of a running joke. Thea and I is how many days since you've dropped something, obviously with our not working hands, and Jan's is how many days has it been since she's fallen over. Right, okay. So there you go. Oh, it's just so nice. Like it's so nice. Our work is lovely. Like oh my goodness, it really is. So if you want to check her out, I say she was so friendly. She's based in Fife, which is where I was in the original cave. So that was like 2 caves ago. But you can check out her website. It's HayleyMillsArt.com. And go and check out her artwork because it is lovely. As I say, she's a very nice person as well. Oh, I've dropped the pencil. Isn't it? It's lovely. Our work is really nice. It's right up my alley as well. I liked it a lot. I had to go out to the truck there for that. It was still sitting in the back of the truck. The sun is shining and I think we've maybe got like a degree or 2 warmer. I didn't go and check the temperature gauge, but it's definitely warmer than it was earlier. But not July summer weather. I'm still incredibly disappointed. There we are, guys. Thea's put the link up there for you. Hi, Daria. I'm really glad that you've popped in. You were one of the people that I actually wanted to come in today. I've just wanted to let you know that I wore your cowl last night and I got lots of compliments and lots of questions about it. So thank you very much for sending me that. I really appreciate it. I had like a very light turquoise coloured top on and it's been really chilly here, so I'd popped that on too and it went perfectly. So everyone was giving me compliments, so I thought I'd better pass them on to you. Right, now let's get on with this collar. So again, I'm going to start with the sky blue. I'm going to go a slight angle here and we'll get going with this. And we'll jump back in with that Indian theme blue as well that we were using down here to make it really pop out. Get that going. It's such a nice colour. I'm not a huge fan of blues apart from like the indigo colour, but I do like this colour. It's nice. And I'll maybe blend in this sky blue a little bit. When I went out to get the tea towel there, Mr. Jim was sitting on the step outside and he's like, is it safe to come in? I'm like, yes, you can come in, it's your house. It is, Thea. Thank you so much for popping that up. Oh, someone's blurry. Patty's having problems. The stream health, I think I've mentioned this before, I do get, it's like a little traffic light system that tells me how smooth the stream's running, and I have had zero complaints from it for the duration, so I'm really happy about that. Poor Mr. Gemini evicted from his own. I keep telling him though, I mean, he can come in and out, it's fine. It's not like you guys are going to be like, how dare he interrupt the stream. The door into the kitchen is at the opposite end of the house. So although you would hear like a little noise in the background, it's not like he's interrupting anything important, you know. But he's very respectful of that. Like he realizes that this is, you know, I'm working here. Working. Right, okay, okay. I'm kind of cool with that for now. Still got a few little wayward graphite lines there. I think for the beak, I think I want to start, and I'm just reusing pencils here, there's nothing new. I've got the terracotta here, and I've also got the burnt umber. So I think what I'm going to do is, for the beak, I'm going to put down a really light layer of this burnt umber first. And just get the shape of that beak in. So like super light touch, super light touch. Just get that down first. And then go in with a couple of layers of terracotta. Over the top. Yeah, so it's giving me like a sort of reddish brown. Yeah, right, okay, good with that. We can pop in some more detail. I just wanted to get the sort of base colour down, which is great. And I'm going to jump back to this warm grey that I used for the eyeballs down here. And I'm going to put in this eyeball here. I still haven't decided whether main Cluck here is having fun or whether he's terrified of something. Maybe he has no control over his vessel. Who knows? And I think I'm going to take some of the, sorry, I lifted the wrong pencil there, the burnt umber, and I'm just going to start putting in a little bit of texture here. Just a few little flicky lines, nothing mega. And we'll maybe start putting in a sort of, you use these little U shapes. Again, I could probably do with zooming in a fair bit here to show you what's going on. Yeah, that's better. You know, to sort of denote the way that the plumage is sitting down on the bottom half here. Maybe not so much round here. But yeah, I kind of like that. Kind of happy with that. And I'm going to pop in a little bit here as well. Again, I'm kind of thinking along the lines of, if you think of like human hair tends to be darker at the roots than it does at the ends. For various reasons. One of them is genetics, one of them is sunlight, and obviously the age of the hair as well, because as soon as your hair sprouts out your head, it's dead. It's only alive at the roots. So, but that just helps to give us a wee bit of dimension, and I might even try and separate out bits of the comb here, just to give them a bit of definition. We don't want everything to be really wishy-washy. So sometimes, again, do it gradually, but it pays to be brave sometimes. Yeah, see, that looks like instantly better. And it makes me also want to do this down here. So let's do it. Let's go for it. And then we can start working on this beak. So like the bottom edge, I feel, would be a bit more darker. I think this might be my favourite one that we've worked on so far. Do you know that? I actually think it is. Thea's got a cuddly cat on her shoulder. Thea's cat likes to he likes to go mountaineering and he like climbs up her and he sits like round here. Susan's Westie has no idea of personal space. Keeps getting between you and your iPad. Do you know it's funny because Pip does that as well? Like Pip climbs up on you like she's a Jack Russell, and I think she learned that from Woo, which was our old Jack Russell. She just climbs up in your lap casually and sits and looks at you and is like, "Yeah, why are you not rubbing me?" Um, she's a little bit heavy for that. She's like 19 kilos, so it's not ideal. Okay, I'm thinking we might actually get close to finishing here. Oh, 15 minutes, right, let's go. Again, I'm doing the same with the terracotta that I did with the burnt umber there. Just get a little bit of an accent in there. Might put a little bit more actually around there, make that quite warm. I'm going super lightly here, like I'm hardly even touching the paper. I'm just tickling it, guys. Tickle. Again, round the back of the eye area there, makes that eye stand out a little bit more. Yeah, so we're just kind of warming up that cream colour really. We're not necessarily adding anything profound or constructive to it. We're just making it look a little bit nicer. What excuse me, what it is making me want to do is add in another layer of cream here. Just make this a bit richer because I feel like it's quite washed out. I would say like see if you're maybe like you've only got a couple of polychromos, or even if you've only got a couple of coloured pencils generally, this cream pencil from the Polychromos range, it's so versatile. Like it's another pencil that I use a lot alongside this indigo pencil. Like those are two that I keep going back to, and it's usually just for like tweaks, but it's just a really handy colour to have because it's quite unobtrusive. You know, it's not going to completely change the colour of something, but it's enough just to give you that little bit of whatever it is you're missing. So I would actually say I use these pencils for the same reason, just at opposite ends. You know, obviously this one for light areas, this one for dark areas. So I would recommend that if you're in the market for maybe a slimline set of pencils in that you don't want to have 120 of them, which I totally get. But they're really good for that. I feel like this needs to be more defined here too. Maybe just pop a little bit in there. Okay. Right, I think we're just going to go for it. We're going to try and finish off here. So I'm going to move up to this poor little chap up here who's exposed. And we'll do the same with the beak as we did here, I think. Might be a good idea. So we're going to start off with really light layer of this burnt umber again. Burnt umber? Yeah. Burnt umber. And then we'll grab our terracotta and go a bit harder with that. He actually, like, his beak doesn't look like it belongs to a chicken. It looks more, yeah, right, I think we need to fix that. It looks more like a dodo beak. It's like, it's too hooked. Let's just, yeah, that's better. Even at that, it's still too long for a chicken, but never mind. We're not here to argue about anatomy. We've had this conversation in previous streams. It's not what we're here for. Yeah, okay. I want a really defined line so that we can see where his beak starts and ends as well. And again, I'll just go back to that grey colour. Yeah, she is that heavy, Thea. And the call, it's difficult with collies. You get really tiny collies that, and it's almost like a separate breeding line. You get tiny little collies that are closer to like the size of a corgi than a border collie. We call them the wee keekers, and they're the ones that you would use for lambs. just because they're small, they tend to be a little bit less forceful and like knock the lambs over and things. So you do get collies that are very, very small, and they can range from like maybe 10 to 14 kilos. The mid-size collies, which is more like border collie size, would be Pip's category, and they tend to range from like 14 up to 20, and Pip's like at the top end of that. Jock sits about 17 and a half, 18. But he's had a lot of muscle wastage as he's gotten older. I think at his peak performance he was about 18, and he's lost half a kilo. But he's starting to like really slim down now. He's got no muscle definition in his shoulders or anything anymore, but it's just because he's old. And then you get what we call the pet collies, and they have a much bigger frame, and they can range from like 18 up to 25 kilos, and they're not overweight at 25 kilos. So there is quite, there's like a more or less a 10 kilo difference between the smallest collies and the biggest collies, which is quite interesting. But Pip's kind of in the middle, I would say. But yeah, she's the last time we took her to the vet, because we took them for their vaccinations not that long ago, and we put Pip on the scales, and the vet was like, where does she put those 19 kilos? Because she doesn't look 19 kilos. And the vet was like, God, she's a lot heavier than I thought she would be. But I don't know whether it's just muscle, but I would say that she's carrying maybe a little bit more weight than I would want her to carry, but she's not overweight. But what we tend to find is she slims down over the summer months, and then in the winter, when she's not quite as active because the weather's absolutely terrible, she tends to kind of like fill out a little bit again, but not to her detriment at all. Susan's Westie used to sit on her shoulder as a 6-week-old puppy and is now 4 and thinks it's still acceptable. That's pretty much like Pip. Yeah, no, they're in Grand Collie terms, they're kind of like average size. They're not big dogs, but they're not small dogs. But yeah, that's kind of the average weight. When you think about it, Woo, our little Jack Russell, she was quite a small Jack Russell, and she was like 5.5 kilos. She's she was little weeny weeny. Right, I've got some yellow in here. I think that was just a bit of overexcitement in previous streams. I'm going to try and take it a wee little bit. I'm not really sure what colour that should be in there. I suppose it should be dark, but light's going to be reflecting off that because that's how periscopes work. But there is a bird stuffed in the way, so I think we could maybe just go with the terracotta. Maybe his comb. Clearly we're all boys in here, but merely, his comb's still stuffed in. I was going to say it's still all stuffed inside. Maybe he had a one bit that's just like poking out. Here we go. How about that? Looks like a little Elvis chicken. Nero's 5 kilos. Yeah, so there you go. Like your cat's 5 kilos. He's a small cat, and Woo was 5.5. Oh, Patty, you're still looking. Yeah, because you were looking to rescue a dog. Were you not? Like adopt a dog. The right one will come along. Again, the expression we use, I'm sure you have something similar, is but what's for you won't go by you. Meaning that, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. Get you a little pooch. Honestly, I wouldn't be without mine. I really wouldn't. I would never not have dogs now, because obviously, and I talked a little bit about this before, but we had the conversation. Jock's getting older now. I think he's still got a couple of years in him yet. I don't think he's going anywhere just yet. But we have to face up to the fact that something's going to get him. And what would we do with Pip? When Jock's not here, and Pip is very like when Woo got towards the end, like when she was an older dog, it went from Woo looking after Pip when she was a pup to Pip looking after Woo because she was an older dog. And Pip has started doing that with Jock as well. So she's like almost the custodian of the other animals in the house. And I think that if she was on her own, she would be quite lonely and quite lost. I mean, she loves humans, don't get me wrong. But like when we're in the cave, Jock is with me all the time. He's always in the same room as me. Whereas Pip's a bit more independent, and she likes to sleep elsewhere in the house or just chill out. But periodically she comes in, and she's checking to make sure everybody's okay. But she goes to Jock first, not me. She goes over to Jock and has a sniff at him and wags her tail, and she's like, right, you're okay. And then she comes to see me and make sure I'm okay. And then once she's done that, she just buggers off and goes back to wherever it was. And I think that if she was on her own, I think she would find it quite hard, but also I think she would get bored, and I don't want that for her. So we are entirely of the opinion that if and when it's Jock's time, we probably won't wait that long and we will get another dog. And I am confident that if we got a puppy, that Pip would look after said puppy because it just seems to be in her nature. Um, not the most pleasant of conversations to have, but I think it would be good. And what we found as well is because there's the age gap between Pip and Jock, because Pip's just about to turn 6 and Jock's 12. And she's kind of like keeping him young, like she's keeping him active and they play together, they roughhouse, they roll about the floor. And Pip's general enthusiasm and excitement for things outside piques Jock's interest, so he goes too. And I think it's definitely kept him going and keeps him active. So I would like that to continue as well for Pip. And obviously we're in the position where we're very well equipped to have 2 dogs because I'm around all the time. They get well looked after. And financially, even if they require a lot of healthcare, we're good for that too. So we've kind of made that decision now, but we hopefully we won't have to make it soon. But that's just the nature of having animals. Yeah, you just haven't found the right one yet. Yeah, that's it, Patty. Absolutely. Yeah, she does, and she is checking on Jock. I'm not messing about when I say that. Like she actually does, and it's quite funny because to begin with, I kind of took it personally. Like I was slightly insulted. I'm like, I do everything for this dog. Like I feed her, I brush her, I give her attention, I take her out for walks, and yeah, and I'm not, I'm not top of her priority list. But then I realised that's just the way that she is. Because we used to say to her, when we let the dogs out at night for their last pee before they go to bed, and Woo had lost her hearing, like she was completely deaf by the end up. And obviously, you couldn't call her back. And if she'd been outside for quite a while, especially in the winter when it was dark, and she hadn't come back, we would say to Pip, "Where's Woo? Will you go and get her?" And Pip would go out and essentially round her up, even though she didn't realise that that's what she was doing, like she was herding her. But she would stay out until Woo was finished her business, and she would like bring her back in the house and then sit and look at us if say, "Did it?" And she started doing that with Jock now as well. So that's just her thing. Um, but yeah, and she used to do it with Woo as well. Like she would go and find Woo in the house and just make sure she was okay too. She's a little sweeter. She's a pain in the ass, but she's a sweetheart as well. That's why we love her. Yeah, well, that's it. See, the pecking order used to be when we had the 3 of them, Thea. When Pip was like we used to call it when she was on patrol, she would always go and find Woo first, and then Jock, and then me. And that's just the way that it worked. And now obviously she just got Jock to check on. So I do think she realizes because there's times as well when they're playing, and Jock starts to get like a bit ratty with her, and she just backs off completely. And she wouldn't have done that maybe 3 years ago. So I think she realizes Jock's telling her, look, piss off, I'm leave me alone. Yeah, see, she's a good girl. Right, okie dokie, people, let's have a wee look at this here. Aww. How do we feel about the Cluckmarine? I would love to know your thoughts. If there's anything you think we should add at this stage, I would like to hear that also. I'm kind of at the point where I'm satisfied with how it is in terms of the pencil lay down on the paper. And as I said earlier, I'm kind of in that lazy phase of, well, if I want to tweak things, I can do it in Photoshop. But I think that's going to make a fabulous sticker. Um, so, there's that. But I don't know whether you think there's something I'm missing. Pray tell, chat, pray tell. Daria, who would have thought that Pip would turn out as Shaz? Well, I certainly didn't think so, Daria. Miri's saying maybe some water ripples. Can you expand on that a wee bit, Miri? Can you give maybe a bit more of a description? Yeah, I know why the middle one is panicking. It's because the other one is sticking its head out underwater. This one. Bubbles. Oh, bubbles. Okay, bubbles out there. Oh yeah, we were going to do some tail. Yeah, okay, right. I like that idea. Again, I'm just trying to think in like sticker terms. Okay, bubbles. So we like the bubbles idea then, guys. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we'll use the sky blue pencil for this. I kind of want to refer back. Yeah, like we had lots of bubbles with with the last one. So maybe we could do that as well. Rather than using, because if you remember, we used these sort of more, it was more like aqua colours we were using. We'll stick with the blue theme that we've got here. But yeah, we did talk about that, I remember now. Because we were talking about that giving us that sense of movement that was a propeller, didn't we? Do you think we should have some bubbles from this guy as well, seeing as his head's like actually poking out? Add a bit more colour in there. And again, I'll just grab that, the ends in threen colour. I'm going to have to go really lightly with this and get a really pointy point on. Pig. Okay, Mary's saying some wiggly lines, maybe either side of the middle of the submarine or bubbles would also work, just to show it's in the water. Yep, yeah, I get you. I'll maybe put some bubbles down here, you know, like just maybe just one or two. A few bigger bubbles for Chicken Head. All about the bubbles today, good stuff. Love your thinking, guys. Absolutely love it, because you're 100% on the ball. This really is like a collaboration. Like, this is a team effort, especially since my memory's like a sieve. Because it's been, what, how many weeks since we were last here? Like 2 or 3? And I've more or less forgotten everything we talked about last time. Like, Mr. Jem and I joke that in this house, if it ain't written down, it didn't happen. We're actually not joking. Um, we just have so many different plates to spin or balls to juggle, whatever you want to use as an expression. And things do go by the wayside. And it gets worse as you get older. So it's kind of important that, that we do write stuff down. You can imagine after a live stream, the last thing I want to do is sit and write stuff down. Right, so I'm just back to the sky blue pencil here, and it's to kind of blend out a little bit of that in threen. Again, I don't need things to be perfect here. I just want that sense of movement. And I'm kind of enjoying the way that we've handled this, obviously with your input and me forgetting things. So a couple of bit, well, we'll have like, we'll have one there. And then we'll have a bigger one there. And maybe have a couple of smaller ones here. Maybe he's just exhaled. Leave me. Maybe the middle one is panicking because it's seen us and wondering how we're underwater. Yeah, someone mentioned that earlier. Leaf, you must have missed that comment. He's panicking because he thinks we're all like eyeballing him. So you've been lurking, Leaf me. That's okay. That's loud. We don't mind lurkers here. It's a bit of a cat-handed compliment, but I actually like the fact that people have well, what's going on here, you know, like on in the background, and it's something that they want to listen to, or maybe it's because you're working and stuff. So I really appreciate that too. It's something I do myself a lot as well. You know, I obviously have favourite YouTubers, streamers, podcasts and stuff. And although I'm not giving it my full attention, I am paying attention, but I'm usually doing something else as well. I need that extra stimulation. One of the parts of my proper job is I deal with quite a lot of data. And data analysis, and it's just a lot of numbers. So if I have an extended period where I am doing, you know, it's more of like an admin task, and You know, I'm dealing with all the numbers, and it's like very repetitive processes. I like to have something else on in the background, or else I zone out so quickly, and I get really bored. Audiobooks are great for that. I used to listen to a lot of audiobooks when I did a lot of running as well. If I was running longer distances, I get really fed up listening to music. And I would stick an audiobook on, and the Discworld novels were great for that because there's a million of them and they're quite long. So yeah, highly recommend. Okay, I don't want to overdo the bubble situation, but I'm quite enjoying myself. So maybe I feel like just a little bit there. I don't want to go too far. Again, I'm saying that I don't want to go too far with these bubbles, but I can Photoshop them out. Do not rely on Photoshop. I might even add, again in Photoshop, I could add like a little up there, you know, so that you know, it's like the current, you know, like dragging past. That might work. In Jan's case, she has her work in the background and you in the fore. Can't ask for more than a compliment than that, Jan. Ah. Ulrika's been sketching with one hand, typing with one, and juggling the whole time. Oh, we do like the giggles, don't we? Right, I'm just going to pop this in here. Again, I can maybe do a little bit more of an adjustment at a later stage. See, y'all could have been playing a drinking game with the number of times I've said that today. Just fix it in Photoshop. Make these ones a little bit bigger. I think I'll just have the last one there. I think I was getting a bit out of hand down there. I say I want them to be. I'm trying to think in terms of the other live stream aquatic creatures we've created, because I would like to put them as an entire sticker set, which includes Gloria the Mermoo. So I want them to be in a reasonable scale, because the stickers to go in a sticker pack have to all be roughly the same size. And if you've got too much detail in, if you have to scale them down to fit in with the other ones, you tend to lose a lot of that detail. So that, you know, there is a bit of design planning involved in this as well. It's not just, oh, let's make funny creatures. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that just now, but I think what I'll do in Photoshop is put another couple of those along the side of the submarine as well, so to, you know, to get that sort of like movement. Okay, guys, I think that is our Cluckmarine. What a team effort. Do you know what? I'm going to stick the date on this right now. We started this debacle on the 29th of May, and it's taken us till the 3rd, 3rd of July. I am absolutely fine with that, and I'm sure you are as well. Good things come to those who wait. Now, just before we finish up, 5:10, I really need to not be here by now. We've got very important decisions to make, and it is down to the 27 of you that are in the chat. What is going to be the subject of our final aquatic creation for this sticker set that is going to be done exclusively in streams? So let's have some suggestions in the chat now for what you would like this last hybrid creature to be. I would like to have an idea of what we're doing before we hit the next live stream, so that we can like hit the ground running with it. So if you have thoughts on what you would like to have. So bearing in mind, up until this point, we've got Gloria the Mermoo. She was the OG. And we also have Aquapig that we finished, and is, I think, well, I was going to say might be my favourite. It totally is my favourite. And now we have Cluckmarine as well, so we need one more to finish the set off. Thea says a sheep on a surfboard or a sailboard. Okay, surfing sheep. Any advance on surfing sheep? A surfing sheep, my goodness. Susan's also in for the sheep, okay. A sailing sheep, or a surfing cat. Surfing sheep, Patty has replied with 2 sheep emojis, which I'm always up for. Okay. Any any advance on the sheep? This is it's almost unanimous here, isn't it? Gosh, you guys have to pick sheep, wouldn't you? My least favourite farm animal. A llama on a lilo. Oh my god, that's oh, Susan, I think you've just made my day. So even if y'all don't want a llama on a lilo, I'm gonna do one anyway. A fluffy merino style sheep. Water skiing sheep. Surfing cow. I don't think we need. I like your suggestion, Veronica, but I don't think we need another cow because we've already got Gloria. Okay, so we're up. We're sheep windsurfing. A lilo, an inflatable bed that goes in the water. Thea, I don't know what you call it. You know, like the mattresses that you blow up that you put in the pool and then you lie on them. That's a lilo. Okay, definitely a sheep. Oh, Black Rose likes the llama idea. Okay, let's. So right, I think the general consensus is a sheep. Pool floats. Miri, is that not like more a generic term for all the inflatable things that go in the pool? Danny was okay with the sheep until the llama came along. Oh, goodness me. Right, okay, so yeah, because see when I think of pool floats, I think of like the rubber rings that are shaped like unicorns and stuff as well. I think you should choose a llama because it's your spirit animal. Yeah, it totally is. A llama on a sheep lilo. Oh, right, okay, here we go. What about what about a sheep in a pool float that's shaped like a llama? How do we feel about that? Because I think that would cover all angles, and they could have a Pernod and blackcurrant as a drink. Yeah, yeah. I was just when I was thinking about the, we're talking about pool floats. You know how you get the ones that are like shaped like flamingos or like unicorns. You could have a llama one because it have a big long neck, and the sheep could be in it with a drink in hand. Yes, you guys are the best, honestly. Oh, that's so good. Okay, right, that's it settled then. We're gonna have a sheep in a llama pool floaty as our final as our final sticker. We're gonna have to find a catchy name for it, but I'll let you all have a wee think about that, and I'll have a think about maybe the finer details. Obviously, we will discuss them further in the planning stages, just like we did with our Cluckmarine in the next live stream. But that sounds like a, a tiny umbrella. Yes, tiny umbrella. Oh, you guys are something else, honestly. Yeah, so that sounds like we've got ourselves a little plan all set up. Love it. A sheep at the bar. Honestly. Oh man. Right, that sounds like a plan then. I like it very, very much. And we will definitely crack on with that. The next WIP Wednesday will probably be the week after next. Let me just. Oh, where's my phone? Hang on a wee second. Oh, let's see. Get my calendar up. Yeah, so the next Wednesday would be the 10th. There will definitely not be a live stream then. As I say, I'm only coming back from the gig and from Glasgow on the Monday. And I'm going to have to get a couple of days to get caught up with proper work and chores and stuff. But the following week, so that would be the 17th, Wednesday, the 17th of July, I think would be the next live stream, and we can get started on our little sheepy friend. That sounds like a plan. Obviously, I'll keep you updated in terms of the chat we had about the subscription boxes. I kind of think I would like to do it as a live stream. I don't know how well it would do after the fact for people watching it, but I'm kind of at that stage, guys, where I don't really care, honestly. I just want to do it to have fun and entertain those of you who are regular viewers. But I think it would be nice if I was going to do it as a live stream. I'd probably do it on maybe like a Friday night or maybe even on a Sunday during the day, just so that more people could attend. Because I know a Wednesday afternoon UK time isn't always great for everyone. But once again, I shall keep you posted on all of that. You know, regardless of how sporadic things are, I'll keep you up to date. So, that is it, guys. Thank you very much for coming and joining in today. I've had a really good time, and it's been a really nice distraction this afternoon from all the other stuff I've got going on. Please keep your fingers crossed for me for the weekend because I have no idea how this is going to go. And, you know, I'm half looking forward to it, but half of me kind of wants to close this chapter as well. So I'm actually looking forward in a weird way to Monday when it's all over. And that means I can spend more time doing videos and spending time with you guys too. So once again, can we have a round of other hands for our mods, for Thea in particular for being super speedy with her link, but also for Green Hat popping in and out even though she's actually doing other stuff. Oh, you're already there. Don't even need to tell you anymore, you just do it automatically. Yeah! Sheep afloat. Yeah, it's well deserved, Thea. Like, you're very vigilant, and I appreciate that very much. I say I don't even have to ask you to do it; you just do it now. So, all is good. Yeah, if you could stick a like on the video if you haven't, or on the stream, should I say, if you haven't done that already, that would be great. And I shall. It'll probably be a little radio silence till Monday now, but after that, I shall let you know what's going on. So once again, thank you for helping me finish off the Cluckmarine. Couldn't have done it without you. And I'm actually really excited now about our sheep and our llama uphill float. So have a great day, everyone. Whether you've only got a little bit of your day left or most of it left, I hope you enjoy it and all goes well. And I shall see you all really, really soon back here in the cave. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye for now.